Okay, there we go. My microphone is now working for the stream. Hello, friends. Welcome back to Borrow Nation. Happy to have you here this evening as we continue on our Kobold journey. Got to pull up the mobile dashboard so that I may see the chat. So tell us, Inno, what are you up to at this very moment?
Right now I'm playing a new round while I wait for us to begin.
Delightful. I hope you win.
I hope so too, but it wasn't a very interesting lobby, so mostly I hope that the game just ends quickly so that I can focus on D&D. Because I'm stuck playing Soraka here.
Rough. I
hope so too.
Was using your character sheet last week to inform. Oh.
Hello.
The Night 257. Welcome back. And thank you so much for this sub. 24 months in a row. That's insane. Oh my goodness. I can't it's hard to even believe that I've been streaming that long. Also, your sub count is just how long I've been streaming, which it's wonderful. Well, I guess plus it's how long I've been affiliate. I started streaming 2 months before that. Oh, with Elden Ring. And then Diablo 4. And then we started... When did we start? We didn't start the D&D stream until pretty late. Like, we were playing D&D for a while, but we didn't start streaming it until much later.
Yeah, I don't remember when we started streaming D&D.
Neither do I. I was like, I can just go check my notes. But then I realized that the notes just track how long we've been playing, not how long we've been streaming it. And I can't check the Twitch VOD history because Twitch only keeps VODs for 30 days. And I didn't start using YouTube as a VOD repository until this year. Yeah. So who knows? Who knows? How have you been, Yipyar?
Tired.
Yeah, I get that. I went for a walk today, and I was listening to the Huberman podcast, which is an excellent, excellent little piece of material.
Yeah, I'm a big Huberman fan.
And today was about focus, neuroplasticity, and essentially how to force your brain to learn new things. And there are a few different steps that are involved. But the foundation of pretty much everything that Huberman preaches is fix your sleep. Get good sleep.
Yeah, it really is the foundation of most good health.
Yeah.
At least according to my non-expert understanding. It's kind of hard to do anything without it. It's a necessary but not sufficient condition.
Yes. And it's interesting when he was going over some of the early what was I listening to? I was listening to a book called Peak as well. I don't know if you've heard that one, but it's specifically about sports medicine and sports health. I'm not exactly a premier athlete, but it still has generalized principles that apply. But they noticed that in elite athletes, transitioning from 6 to 7.5 hours of sleep, scored in every objectively measurable category up to 10% performance gains just by getting more sleep, not changing anything else about their lifestyle, which is insane.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, sleep is the first non-negotiable. And it's funny because it's so easy to throw it out the window, right? Just be I can go without sleep today, or I can go with a little bit less sleep today. It's funny, in the order of things that I sacrifice in my life, when I'm I need more time, the first thing I sacrifice is working out, and the second thing that I tend to sacrifice is sleeping. I've become much better about it over the years as I've actively worked on it.
Yeah, it takes discipline. When you get older, it becomes less negotiable, but it still takes some discipline.
Yeah.
To just, at that and all the stuff around it, it's like it's one discipline to just get in bed. It's another to like, all right, I'm not gonna look at screens for 2 hours before, and I'm gonna like have a really good like intentional wind down, because it eats into your day a lot.
It does. It does.
So I need more than 5 hours.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yes. Well,
Right now I'm averaging like 5.5.
you can survive, but it'll.
I know a guy who claims that he thrives on 5 hours since he started the meat-only diet.
Yeah, a lot of people claim that, and there are some people who actually function fine on very little sleep, but it's a much smaller portion of the population. Like the number of people who claim they do is like 20%, and the number of people who actually do is like 0.3% or something like that. There is some like genetic combination that allows it, but most of these other people, like if you were to give them like cognitive assessments, like you could yeah, do some cognitive assessment on like a normal day and then sleep 8 hours for 3 straight days, you would see a statistically significant difference.
Yeah. Which is wonderful. But also, like, maintaining a good sleep schedule is really difficult. Thankfully, the early Huberman podcasts talk a lot about the steps that you can take to correct and maintain a good sleep schedule, which I've, yeah. I made
having kids has forced me into better habits. Like, I don't always get a great night's sleep, but I can't stay up just like egregiously late anymore because you know that they're waking up no matter what.
Yep. It's funny. He's in today in the one I listened to today. He was like, "Yeah, how do you learn when you're a kid? You just be a kid. How do you learn when you're adult? Well, you have to be very intentional about it." Kids' brains are just wired to like pull in new information, which is delightful.
I'm gonna listen to that episode. I would love to find some neuroplasticity hacks.
Yeah, it was really good. So he said there are like 3 chemicals that have to be released in your brain for you to be able to rewire your neurology. First is epinephrine, which he said start with a good sleep foundation. That's the first thing that you have to do, and then you have to be aware and cognizant. You have to like essentially like announce to yourself like I'm going to try and edit how I act or feel or think about this thing. And then you have to get acetylcholine to release from both your frontal cortex and then your hippocampus, something in the back of the brain. One of them is triggered just by being like alert by like thinking that you're going to focus on the thing, and the other one is released by visually focusing on the thing for those of us who are sighted. And by doing all 3 of those things, you enable... It's just like you said earlier, right? It's like foundational or necessary but not enough, right? You have to do those things, and then you have to actually engage in the learning. And then you have to sleep on it, because the neuroplasticity changes actually take effect during deep rest.
Yep.
All right. So, moving away from things about which I am not even close to an expert into things in which I am moderately expertly full, called Dungeons & Dragons. What a smooth transition that was. We're going to be missing Got him! We're going to be missing 2 members tonight. Both Ao and Zarya had to dip for both medically related reasons, actually. Now that we think about it. So, Biscuit, I believe you're going to be taking over Ao's character. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Wonderful. And Yipyar, how do you feel about pulling double duty and commanding the Zarya ship, as it were?
I can do my best.
Excellent. That's all we can ask for. Today's contest. So last week we did clumsiness. Today, you find yourselves in the sewers under the city of Middleton. And so I think it might be maybe something like aversion to strong smells or how sensitive to strong smells you are. I think that might be a good contest for today. Might add some flavor to the upcoming portions of role play. So we'll go ahead and do that. I believe we've done sense of smell before, but this will be particular like responsiveness or aversiveness to strong smells.
Can you please let us know what you would classify as a strong smell?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know. I also I'm trying to workshop this as we speak. So if you have ideas, please speak up because it could be something like any strong smells elicits a negative response just because your nose is extremely sensitive, but it could also be seen as strong smell tolerance. Right? Like, okay, yes, you fully absorb the strong smell, but it has less of a constitutional effect on you.
Okay. Well, I rolled a 17, so does that mean that
We're going to go with
strong?
highly
smells,
responsive to strong smells.
Okay, so I'm highly reactive. Got it. All right, so I am easily bothered by strong smells. It goes, makes sense. I do have kind of a discerning palate.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah.
Is this the Pinot speaking?
Exactly, yeah.
Fix it.
AO rolled a 3.
Good job, AO.
It also kind of that also tracks. Yeah,
I thought it did. Yeah.
I don't see him being a gourmand.
Biscuit rolled a 4.
Wow. Biscuit got a 4. All right, Yipyar.
Zarya got a 13. And UPR got 19.
You are the most sensitive of the bunch.
Yeah. UPR just has a sensitive nose.
That makes sense. Have you ever seen Hunter x Hunter?
Yes.
Nope.
Well, one of the main characters, Gon, has an extremely sensitive nose because he's very attuned to nature, and he can track things by their scent for miles. So as a druid, being attuned to nature, it makes sense that you would have a very acute sense of smell. Now, this is responsiveness or reactiveness to strong smells, so how much they affect you. Yeah. So I think AO and Biscuit, as they're walking through the sewers, it's just going to be like a blasé day for them. But Fix It and Yipyar, y'all going to have a bad time.
Whoa, are we actually walking through sewers?
You are. So, we need to catch you up on what happened.
Yeah.
Wasn't there something about the water being very, good and pristine? Wouldn't it not smell very strong down there?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
I forgot that
we
you were
took
in the
like-
clean portion of the sewer water. You are absolutely correct.
We found the cleanest sewers in what's the name of the town? Are we in?
Middleton.
Also, I'm an octopus currently.
The party followed old Nana Sarah's plan and ended up in a magically clean sewer pipeline. Okay, so this is what happened. Y'all got in trouble with the law because y'all did some murdering inside of a city. Y'all have never really been inside of a city with strict laws before. You have really only been to one human town before, human village, and you ended up marrying essentially the royal family of that village, so nobody's going to bother you with anything. Also, you made some very distinct impressions at the Adventurers Guild that gave a very don't screw with us vibe, which has been adhered to strongly by the peasantry. However, here they have an organized city guard that maintains order over a much larger population. And so when you wandered into a noble's home, in a perfectly legal fashion, but then proceeded to illegally escape and stab some people, the authorities were notified and were starting to cause trouble. So old Nana Sarah came up with a plan to get y'all to kind of hide out so that no shame came on the Ruel family name. She sent you away. You agreed to her plan. You were carried in a burlap sack by one of her trusted guards and have been deposited next to a sewer grate, and you all climbed in. Now, it just so happens that this particular sewer is the magically clean water that goes to the noble homes, like the rich noble homes of the city. And so it is like very, very good. Like even as you're walking in the water, like the stuff being pulled off of your skin is instantly magically destroyed to keep the water pristine. So, yeah, that's where you're at. You are in the sewers. You have a piece of paper with old Nana Sarah's plan laid out on it, and it gives you a direction to go. Crunch, welcome back! Also, as the first speaker in chat today, you have unlocked one Sword of Destiny roll. What this is a full set of Dungeons & Dragons dice from D4 to D100, and picking a number will increase. The higher the number, the higher the risk, but also the higher the potential reward. So let me know which dice you'd like rolled for you yourself, and we will bless you with a Die of Destiny for the next 24 hours. There are no... Well, I guess actually, as kobolds, you're pretty close to being Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, aren't you?
I feel like we've been here before, but yes? No, I'm sure we've been compared to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles before.
Almost definitely. I mean, you are literally small lizard folk. Well, lizard-adjacent folk? Reptilian? Are turtles reptiles? Are they amphibians?
No.
They're not
Amphibians, yeah, not reptiles.
No, I didn't. Oh. I thought they weren't amphibians.
I don't know. I'm going to ask my good friend Google. Yeah. Are turtles reptiles?
They are reptiles.
They are?
According to my Google AI.
Yeah. Turtles are reptiles.
I didn't know that.
Are tortoises reptiles?
That is crazy.
Oh, turtles and tortoises are the only living species of reptiles with beaks.
Those are beaks? I didn't even know they were considered beaks.
Maybe it's only certain kinds of turtles and tortoises. This is what the lifelong learning community value of the Boru Nation is all about. This is amazing. Oh my
Wait,
goodness.
Do octopuses also have beaks because they look like they have beaks?
Squids definitely have beaks. Turtles are reptiles, not amphibians. They share characteristics with other reptiles like snakes, lizards, and crocodilians. They have scales, cold-blooded metabolisms, and lay eggs on land with hard shells. Amphibians, on the other hand, have smooth, permeable skin, breathe through their skin, and lay soft-shelled eggs in water. Oh, that's really interesting. That reptiles lay eggs on land, whereas amphibians lay eggs in the water. But there are some reptilian species that live in the water full time, right? Like eels and stuff? No, Crunch, this is literally what we're all about. Like, this is amazing. You do not need to apologize for derailing us. Learning things is what we're all about. Are axolotls reptiles? Axolotls are not reptiles. They're amphibians. That was just in the suggested search. Okay. So, what we have learned is that y'all are actually really close to being Teenage Mutant... You know what? Actually, this is what's going to happen. In order to keep all of your gear safe and dry, old Nana Sarah also provided 4 hard packs for you to put all of your equipment in. And they just so happen to very strongly resemble the turtle shells used in training at the Kami House in Dragon Ball. Perfect. So for this episode, you will be wearing turtle shells. I'm going to go with there are 5 colors of turtle shell. There's red, orange, blue, purple, and black. and I'm going to let you roll initiative to see who gets which turtle shell.
I got a nat 1. But Zarya got a 17.
Turtle shell initiative.
I got a 4.
Sorry, I got a what?
17.
17. Fix it's a 4. Yipar got a 1. All right, Biscuit.
Ao got a 14.
Ao got a 14. And
Biscuit got an 8.
Biscuit got an 8. All right. Zarya, you get to choose your turtle shell color first.
What were the 5 colors again?
The 4 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle colors and black. If you'd like, I can pull up an image of Zarya.
I mean, I see Zarya right there.
Yeah, that's not the full picture though. I feel like it doesn't do like most of the color on her picture isn't shown in that. I should have it here in a quick folder. Oh, is this the right place? Twitch. Nope. Come just oh my gosh, File Explorer. Why are you being difficult right now? All right. Zarya. Unsupported image type? What does that mean?
It means it's unsupported. You're welcome.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. All right, let's see. Okay, I'm just saying there's a lot of blue in this picture. Oh,
Okay.
there. Boom. Look at that. There's also purple. She's got like purple underbelly, purple undertail, right? She's got the blue eyes. She's sitting because remember when you found her in that cavern where it looked like the stars were reflecting in the slime that you were walking through. Do you remember that? I actually didn't fix it. Didn't you pick up some of that star metal slime for experimenting?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I don't
also have some star metal.
Yeah. So you've got some star metal slime to play with that you haven't incorporated into your bags.
Yeah, it's true.
Also, you can still change your bags to D6s, and as soon as you do, you get a plus or minus 1 on your rolls.
What does that mean? Like I can choose?
So right now, you choose the bag and you roll a D4, right? When you convert them to D6 bags, you'll roll a D6, but you can pick the number that you rolled or plus or minus 1.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Yeah. I'm not gonna do it while we're on here, but I'll do it. I'll do it this week.
Delightful. All right, so Zarya's bag
Zarya
choice,
will be blue.
turtle choice. Zarya's the blue turtle shell. All right, Ao
Ao chooses black.
chooses the black turtle shell. Biscuit,
Biscuit chooses purple.
purple turtle shell. Fix it.
Is red still available?
Red is still available.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with red. I'm looking at my picture. It's a kind of bronze, so I'll go with red.
You've got like the red feather and ribbon on your top hat as well.
Yeah.
Yip Yar is left with
Orange.
the orange turtle shell.
I need some nunchucks.
Beautiful.
Also, I don't know if it's just me, but the stream is frozen.
Is the stream frozen?
It might just be me.
Oh,
Let me
nope.
refresh.
It's frozen on my phone as well. That's quite unfortunate.
Not
I
frozen for
refreshed.
me.
Maybe I was just sitting very still, actually.
No, I refreshed it, and now it's not frozen for me.
Okay. Wonderful.
I believe
So-
Xfinity.
Thanks, Xfinity. So you're in the sewers, the pristine, magically pristine water. You've been given a direction to travel by old Nana Sarah. Now, in her haste, she didn't draw pictures for you. She wrote it all out in words, and it says to head north.
I feel like we did a contest to see who had the best sense of direction before.
Yes, you
I
did.
think we did do that. Oh, look, I found our sense of smell roll. Zarya got a nat 20.
Ooh. That matches then, doesn't it?
Yeah, she got a. What'd she get? She got a 13, I think. But I guess it's just today. It was how bothered are you by smells? So not whether or not you can actually smell it.
Okay, I'm not finding direction. Do we remember what I called it? It absolutely sounds like something that we would. I found love of one's own bed. Biscuit got a 1.
What is ARO?
What is ARO?
Yeah, I just put that in my contest. I've got a capital ARO in there just by itself. That's okay. Let's not worry about that.
I've got a lot of rounds showing up. Is it karaoke? No, I don't know. At some point I'll do a compilation of all of the contests that we've done and get that information out.
It was the very first one. Cardinal directions. I have a 10.
How did that not come up when I? Okay, when you say very first one, you mean like?
First one I was a part of, at least, because I've been keeping track of my notes.
Yeah, when did we start doing contest? Contests? When is the first time? Eyebrow control. Okay, the first one I have notes for is eyebrow control.
It should be right before eyebrow control.
That's from 9/6. I have. Oh, not so. The first day that we did the contest, I didn't take notes on the contest. However, that is the first. That's when Biscuit got a control of her songbirds that look like plants when they're not moving.
Oh yes, that I have not used recently.
That's okay. Okay, so the very, very first contest that we did on September 6th of 2023 was Cardinal Directions. So I didn't take notes on that.
I remember that me and AO were, I think both of us were 10 or maybe he was 12 or something, and it was Ray's and Biscuit that actually knew where we were going. But
that makes sense.
AO and I were like, yeah.
Okay, so AO's a 10. You said you're a 10 as well?
Yeah.
All right, so we're just going to have Biscuit and Zarya and Fix-It re-roll right now. And hopefully at least one of you is good with directions.
Okay.
Just
15.
17.
Oh. There's some spice in them there, Waters. 17. And Zarya?
6.
You sounded so ashamed.
Well, because I know that she had a high last time, or was she with us at that point? No, she wasn't.
She was not.
I don't think.
Yeah, you said Ray's got. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't feel as bad anymore. Never mind. We're good. 6 is fine.
The next contest after eyebrow control was hairiest feet. Yep. Which I remember us having a very specific chat about what that meant as kobolds. Okay, so Biscuit, you have a pretty good sense of direction, so you're going to get advantage on your survival check to go north along the sewer path if you would like to follow old Nana Sarah's directions.
Yeah.
Fix-It got a 15.
I got 15, yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed it.
which was also pretty
Very-
good.
It is pretty good. I know Biscuit would point the way Nanocera. Biscuit is intrigued because Nanocera is turning out to be kind of a badass. Am I allowed to say that on here?
Yes.
Yeah,
Used
but
it.
yeah.
I've said much worse. My
I
God.
can't, because there was a point where we said we were going to be more wholesome and family friendly.
I know. I must not have been around for that episode.
Yes,
am-
but anyways, Nanocera is a badass, and Biscuit's respecting that and is intrigued.
Run from the authorities. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Okay. Go ahead and make your survival check
Oh.
with advantage.
With advantage.
Aw,
All of us?
Okay.
No, just her.
No.
Unless all of actually, go ahead. You don't get advantage. Well, you would get advantage. Yipyar, you don't get advantage. Ao and Zarya don't get advantage. And this is just so that like everybody picks what direction they think is north. Anybody who gets over a 12 will get it right, and anybody who gets below a 12 is going to argue that north is not that direction.
Biscuit got a 12.
Oh. I'm going to say that's not correct. I'm going to say you're a little mixed up. You're a little distracted by this really, really clean water.
It's really clean.
Like, you're having a little internal conflict because part of you is like, is this better than Shine Time? And you feel
That is
betrayed just
exactly-
by having the thought.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Actually, that is what I was thinking.
They must get through.
So, I got an
All
11.
right. Is there any modifier on this roll?
You should have a survival skill.
Oh. Okay. Let's see.
Sorry, I got
Okay.
19.
So she knows what direction is north. What about Ao? What did he get?
Ao got a nat 20. I don't know what his modifier is right now. I gotta find it. But
That's all right. Nat 20 is a crit success no matter what.
16.
16. Okay. So that's 3 passes to know which direction north is, and 2 people failed. So, Biscuit, you're on the side of failure. And then Ao and Fix-It and Zarya are all correct. And Yipyar, you also failed?
Yeah, I got an 11.
Yep. So, argue amongst yourselves.
Biscuit's gonna splash some water on Yipyar and start rubbing it into his scales.
I'm an octopus right now.
Oh, then into your tentacles? Do octopuses like Shine Time? Yeah, this
Octopodes.
My spores are vanilla right now.
Yeah, it's interesting because even as an octopus, you're still going to be emitting spores, right?
Yeah. I think because you allowed me to have that as flavor.
Yep.
Whenever I wild shape, yeah.
If they had all rolled nat 20s, then a sparkling ray of sunlight would have lit their entire path. Thankfully, that didn't happen. Only Ao got it.
Ao just sees a sparkling path but doesn't say anything about it.
Yeah, just starts following it.
Oh, also,
Like
Crunch, you might be interested in this. There are a few D&D specific channel point redemptions. One of which is you can force somebody to re-roll a die. So if you think it'd be really funny because they like either rolled really poorly or really well, and you want to take that away from them, you're allowed to use that. You have to type in which one. Premium hydrate for the Night 257. I have my favorite Texas Wolf Dog Project water bottle here today, full of water. I am actually going to have to refill my water bottles here soon. My doctor told me that he told me that my blood is a little thick because of hematocrit or hemoglobin counts or something like that. And he said one of the reasons that could be...
Hematocrit. Sorry.
It's all right. I appreciate... What did you say?
I say hematocrit. Other people say hematocrit. Other people do say hemocrit.
But, yes.
Hematocrit?
Hematocrit? Hematocrit.
That's how I like to say it.
Okay.
That's how I was taught.
That number is high, and he said it's probably because I don't drink enough water. And I had not been drinking as much water, And part of the reason for that is because there have been less premium hydrates on the stream. But also I just haven't been drinking as much water. So I really appreciate the attempts to keep me healthy. I went for a really good walk
Okay.
today. Oh, sorry.
Having a lot of red blood cells is really good, though. Like, a lot of athletes purposefully, okay, not a lot of athletes, cheaters purposefully trying to deprive themselves
quite a
of
lot of
oxygen.
quite a lot of cheaters in the
Yeah.
pro ranks.
Yeah, but they try
Not
to bring the
inaccurate.
red blood cell count up high because more oxygen means you're more productive or something.
Interesting.
Anyways, sorry, go ahead.
No, we opened today talking about like health and sports health specifically, and I obviously am the ideal figure of a premier athlete. That's not true, but I'm working on it. It's funny. No, we're not going down that tangent. Okay, so you're in the sewers. As a party, you have discerned the correct direction. Iced coffee technically does have water in it. That's what ice is. It's also why I don't like ice in my drinks, because it just waters down whatever I'm drinking.
Same. Also, it just cold hurts.
Oh, that could be another good contest someday. Aversiveness to cold. All right, contest. So you've got your turtle shells on. You're heading north. You're being pursued by the city guard, but you think you found a way through it. As you venture north into this tunnel, it eventually opens up into a big round chamber with several water. Like, obviously, you're walking upstream. No, you're walking downstream. You're walking downstream away from the source of the water, and you come across what is obviously like a basin, kind of like a little sewer reservoir. Obviously, there have been several small pipes that have run off into different directions, and this is kind of, by the time you reach this basin, your pipeline has basically dried up. All of the water has been served to the rich customers, and almost none of it gets into the general pool, which is by design. So you're here, and you start to notice some oddities. You see a couple of signs in bright neon painted colors, in poorly scratched letters. One of them says, "All hail King Rat," and one of them says, "Greg."
All hail King Rat and Reg.
Yes.
That was normal.
How are these written? Are they like Comic Sans or written with certain types of fluids or inks or what?
Yes, it's very bright neon paints. I'm taking a lot of inspiration from Arcane's perception of Jinx at the moment, like the way she writes all her signs.
Yes.
With like that very spray painty neon colors, sharp lines. It's definitely a sans serif font.
Sorry, All Hail King Rat and Greg?
Greg, yep. There's a sign that just says Greg.
Oh, it's a different sign.
It's a different sign.
We're
Yep.
not all hailing Greg as well.
No, there's an All Hail King Rat sign and a sign that says Greg.
So there's ROUSs in the sewer.
There are quite potentially ROUSs in this sewer. We might need everyone to roll for whether or not they believe in ROUSs.
Can I just automatically believe in them?
Yeah. As with any contest, you are free to just choose a number. And if it's not something that you feel is important to the character, I encourage you to explore different...
Wait, we can do that?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, it came up
How to do
in the
that?
episode where we rolled for like romantic affinity, because there
Right.
was very strong feelings about like I wanted my character to be like this, like in this spectrum. And so, yeah, it's if you already have a piece of your, this isn't for me to tell you what your characters do or what they're good at or whatever. These are essentially additional opportunities for you to develop and enhance the flavor of your character. And if you haven't made a decision yet, I encourage you to roll and just play with what you're given. But like, if you're like, oh no, my character would be this, then yeah, just pick the number.
AO rolled a 5.
Oh, I saw Grimney 43 and I was like, oh my goodness, Grimney 43, that's a name I haven't seen very often. But then I remembered. Oh no, you messed up your dancing kobold. I don't actually know if the pyramid works for animated emotes.
I was trying though, then I accidentally overclicked once.
Then you did 4. Yeah, you can build emote pyramids if you do like 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. I'm pretty sure the chatbot will automatically respond to you and tell you what your pyramid high score is. I don't know if it works with animated emotes though. Look at all those beautiful animated emotes.
Sorry, what were we talking about?
So you're trying to decide.
What we were rolling or not rolling for.
Oh, we're gonna roll for whether or not you believe in ROUSs, which is to say rodents of unusual size.
All right.
I feel like Yip Yard came from that era where they actually existed. It's like, this is just normal. Like, that's just normal size, right?
Oh. You didn't ruin it, Crunch. It keeps track of like each individual user. So even if other people post in between the knight's attempts, it doesn't mess up his pyramid. I'm like 95% certain that that's true. Also, he messed it up himself way before you did. Also, I don't know what a 6x Boruna dancing emote dancing biscuit combo means. 1, 2,
Maybe
3,
because
4,
6
5.
in a row.
Yeah. Just because Crunch had it in the 6th message? I don't know. So, fix it. Do you believe in ROUSs?
I do. Yeah. I rolled a 13, so I harbor some doubt, but I'm generally a believer.
What about you, Fix It? I mean, Biscuit.
Biscuit believes. I think, yeah, Biscuit believes.
All right.
And is low not believe? Because then AO doesn't believe.
Yeah, low is not believe. So AO's like, psh, ROUSs. What are you on about?
I was
I
born in the darkness. I would know.
Actually, I think this kind of makes sense because Zarya, I rolled for her and she got a 6. And I think before Zarya showed up in the group, I've actually turned into one of the giant space hamsters before.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Which
But
is a
since
rodent.
AO died after that.
That's
as well.
basically an ROUS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is after AO died. Or before
It
AO
was
died.
Before, yeah. So for the new person inhabiting AO, that makes sense.
Whose name not even AO knows. Because he hasn't come up with it yet. But we can still hope. Okay. So knowing, some of you believe that there are ROUSs ahead. And some of you believe that some hobo is just down in the sewers painting signs.
Some of us believe both.
So, some of you believe both. So, the old Nana Sarah directions mention nothing about any Greg or any Rat King or King Rat. However, it does say to continue north. Now there are three tunnels that are open that go north-ish. One of them goes northwest, one goes northeast, and one goes cardinal north. To the northwest, the tunnel actually seems to be pretty clogged up with spider webs. And then to the northeast, it just looks like a regular tunnel. And then the north Straight north, you just hear a bunch of squeaking. Squeaking.
I think we should go toward the squeaking. Seems like a good sign.
Squeaks are a bad omen. You don't want to get eaten, do you?
Well, no. You put it that way.
You did it the night 257. Also, as a party, you're going to have to come to a decision.
Yeah.
All right, let's go away from the squeaks. I am prepared to revise my position on squeaks. We shall go in the opposite direction of the squeaks. Squeaks always come from the south, right? So therefore,
I didn't know that.
yeah. So let's go away from the squeaks.
Are we going to have to do another cardinal direction roll?
No, Biscuit's gonna write in the paper. Squeaks always come from the south.
You've been heading north this whole time, and if you were to continue in a straight line, you would go straight into the squeaks. But at this point, you've determined that even though you've been heading north this entire time, that direction is now south. Am I understanding this correctly?
Okay. Biscuit will take it with a grain of salt. But it's still gonna be like, this could be true. I can't rule it out.
Tunnel full of squeaking.
Ayo will keep going north because he rolled really well with the sense of directions, right?
He did. Yeah.
Taking that 20.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so Ayo's gonna keep going north because that's what Nanasara said, right?
Yes. And he probably trusts her more than the rest of you do, considering his relationship with her.
You mean because they're married?
Yes.
Brian, as a man who's married, let me tell you. I'm just kidding. That's exactly how it works. Yeah.
I'm gonna trust Ao. I just rolled for it and got pretty high on whether I trust his direction. So
I always knew Ao was going to get.
Does he know? Does he know he's good at it? Like, is he confident? If he's showing confidence,
He always exudes confidence, doesn't he?
He does always exude confidence.
Yeah.
then loses limbs.
Sometimes correct, but never unsure.
Yep, that sounds like Ao.
Mm-hmm.
It's so sad that that's funny to you guys. How many people I work with that are like that?
No, I get it.
Oh, is there still water in the piping that we're in, or no?
So you've entered like a basin. This like all of the pipes feed. A lot of pipes feed to like this is like a central hub. Now we have not yet determined if there are rodents of unusual size, but I have a feeling that we're about to find out as our party ventures northward into the squeaking pipe, which I will now clarify that is the squeaking of rodents. Because as I said it out loud, I realized
It could have just been like a squeak toy, or maybe just like a bolt or something. You know?
Yep. There's just like a grate that's like got squeaky hinges. It just needs some WD-40. We've got layers of squeaking here. So as you pass the squeaking grate, which I've determined canonically now exists at the interest to this ingest of this tunnel, Fix-It snaps his fingers and goes, "See? I told you squeaking already comes from the south. Always comes from the south. Now that the squeaking grate is on the south side of you." All right, I really thought that moment deserved more than it got from you guys.
Okay, do it again.
As you pass the squeaking grate, Fix-It snaps his fingers and says, "See? Squeaking always comes from the south." Wow!
too much pressure.
It was really well executed.
I mean, you did my line. What am I supposed to do? You're doing fiction better than fiction.
I should have shadow fed you the line somehow. I just need to have my text chats with each of you open on the side during the entire
It's really just you playing all of us in the line.
You know, that's one of the biggest design problems for cooperative games. It's called the one head, many hands problem, where any cooperative game that you play has a tendency to turn into one person making all of the decisions and essentially forcing the other people to be their minions as they play the game by themselves. I don't want this to be that.
I've been pretty surprised that hasn't really showed up in this campaign too much.
Other than when it was necessary, because people abandon us for medical reasons, which I still think is really funny to say out loud.
Motherfuckers want to go and have babies.
Or work.
Yeah, work to save people. Actually, I don't even know what he does at the hospital. But
All I know is that when I was in the Dominican Republic, 100% just to visit him, he went to New Jersey.
I know, right? It was so weird.
Actually? Oh, that's so mean. Okay, I'm actually gonna roll and give him the lowest dice.
Okay. We were actually just on a cruise that happened to go to the Dominican Republic.
Oh, okay.
And he happened to be stranded in
New Jersey because of a blizzard.
It's just funny that we were there and then he was. It was a great timing.
I've
We
already
took a
signed up for
picture
the
in
cruise
front
next
of
year.
that Christmas tree.
Oh yeah, that really sad Christmas tree.
Yeah.
After passing the squeaky grate, the party enters the vermin domain. As you walk further up this tunnel, further northward, with the squeaky grate to the south of you, which is a callback to a funny moment that happened, you find this kind of artificially expanded section where part of the sewer tunnel had broken down, like the encasement of it, and there's this huge rough rock hewn cave kind of extending to either side where the pipe is still like running down towards the basin. And there's this entire society of rodents of very usual size. Very usual size. They've got little huts. They have like a water wheel system set up with a little rat mill. And, you see them coming down and getting their buckets of fresh sewer water to take back to their homes. However, deeper down the left side of the cave, which would be westward, you see that the huts begin to get bigger. And there's like a gated community back there. Now, directly in front of you, preventing you from going further northward, is an armed set of rat guards. Now, these are rodents of very unusual size. They stand about 5 feet tall, but are still very rat-shaped. But they're sitting back on their back feet, each holding a halberd with a simple conical metal helmet. Now, as you get up, they go, squeak! You can't pass. You gotta go see King Rat.
That's taller than we are, right?
Yep, it's taller than you are.
Yeah. All right, so we have to go see King Rat in order to pass. Well, we'd be more than happy to parlay with your leader, as it were. Just show us the way.
Biscuit will stand behind Fix-It, looking very intimidating.
Oh, please roll an intimidation check. Also, we asked him the same question. We didn't even know why anyone would ever want to be in New Jersey, let alone stuck in New Jersey.
Indeed.
Okay, intimidation is 22.
Did you say 22?
I said 22. I rolled a 9.
Wow, that's amazing. All right,
That
so
is really intimidating.
the lead rat guard lets out a little squeak, and he says, "Oh, okay, I'll take you to King Rat, squeak, squeak." And he reaches out, fix it, and he grabs your hand, and then he proceeds to use his halberd as like a walking stick as he kind of like fat rat shuffles over to the gated community. He says, "Please be careful of the rat homes, squeak."
Squeakins.
All right, yeah, this is going a lot smoother than a lot of our interactions.
Layers of rat culture with the smallest
Layers of
rats.
rat
Yep, living nearest the sewer water. So the main rat guard. So do the rats live in a town called Nim? Well, I'll tell you what, Crunch. The rat town doesn't yet have a name, but there is a channel point redemption that would allow you to name this rat town if you so desired. Also, I have no idea
really?
who... Yeah, I believe there's a
specific
channel
one for
point
that?
redemption for... I think it's like name the next thing that happens in D&D or like name the next NPC. It's only been used, I believe, by Keep It Tucked. You guys met a merchant that he named, and I think he also named an item that you guys found. But that's way back when that happened. So this particular, the head rat guard walks you up. He flashes his badge to get y'all into the gated community, and he walks you back into this. And this is where some of the strong smell aversiveness is going to come into play. It smells rank back here. He walks you into this huge. You have to walk into like through a narrow tunnel in the cave into what opens up into another big room. And this is very obviously a king rat throne room, because over the throne, which is made out of rotten smelly cheese, it says King Rat with an arrow pointing down to the fattest rat you have ever seen, who is sitting on some smelly cheese with a paper crown.
Does the cheese smell good or bad to us?
It smells bad. Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim was a book and a movie. See, I feel like I've
Yes.
heard Nim before. I don't think I've heard
Dude,
Mrs. Frisbee.
Secret of Nim is awesome. That's such a good movie. All right, and all we're trying to do is get through here, right? So, this seems like it's going to be a pretty uneventful episode. We're going to learn a little bit about rat culture. I'm sure that these folks will be reasonable. We've all been kind of mistreated by humans and, other fancy races. So yeah, I'll just introduce myself to King Rat. King Rat, it is a pleasure to meet you. Fix-It MacGyver, Kobold, adventurer, and cell phone repairman. At your service, and seeking safe passage.
Then for an audience with King Rat. You have seen the gloriousness of my rat domain, have you not?
Indeed, we have only scratched the surface, I would say, or scratched beneath the surface. But yes, it is a delight to all of the senses.
Quite so, quite so. What a wonderful, wonderful rat we have here. And He like makes the elbow jostling motion into the air in your general direction.
Sorry, elbow jostling motion.
Yeah. You know, like if you were gonna like elbow someone in the side because like you made a really corny joke.
Okay, yes.
Oh, he just
Yeah.
he like does that in the air.
Yeah, he does that in the
Yeah.
air like at you because he's very fat and has not moved from his throne.
Yeah. I mean, I'm carrying a few extra pounds myself. So
He beckons you closer, beckons you up to the throne.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I approach.
All right, let's see. We're gonna roll a d20 here, and a lot is riding on this. So, you know what? You can call it. Do you want high or low? Fix it.
High. Hit him high.
Ooh. All right. As you approach the throne, the knee is about a quarter of the way up your body, right?
Yeah.
He says, I like you, you little rat of the dragons. You may kiss my knee in supplication. And he holds out his knee for you.
Oh. You know what? I'm going to reach into my bag for a beverage instead. And do I have two drinking vessels? I must have two, right?
I mean, I think you have like a skull and then like a dented metal cap, right?
I thought I had like a chipped wooden goblet too.
Did you
Yeah,
keep that wooden goblet from the Ginyu?
massacre?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Also, did you buy any of the fancy vases from Fix It? Yeah, okay, you did. You bought a fancy vase as well.
Okay.
So you
All
have the
right, so I
wooden
pull
goblet
out,
and you have a fancy vase.
So I pull out the wooden goblet and a fancy vase. I unfortunately rolled a 3, which is scorpion venom, but I'm kind of pot committed to this at one point. So I'm gonna say, my dear friend, the customs must be a bit different here than they are where we come from. Here a guest would offer you a drink to show their appreciation. And I have some of the finest that you may have ever come across. I think it'll go splendidly with that cheese of yours. And I offer him the vase filled with scorpion venom.
Would my character notice this?
Go ahead
wanna
and
try
roll
to
a
do
perception check.
Okay,
Scorpion.
perception. Yeah, that's an 18.
Yep.
Could I try to stealthily purify food and drink?
So it does purify food and drink have a verbal or somatic component?
It has both.
Okay. So this is what's going to happen real quick. Go ahead and make a stealth check.
Shouldn't I be rolling persuasion here too? Or charisma or something?
Yeah. Your action is currently being interrupted by
All right.
Fix It. So we're gonna have to see what happens. I need you to roll an insight check, an insight check real quick. All right, Fix It. What did you get on your stealth check? I'm sorry. Yipyar, what did you get on your stealth check?
21.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, you kind of just mumble under your breath and make the motions without drawing any attention to yourself. You successfully are about to cast the spell to purify the scorpion venom. What did you get on your insight check? Fix It.
14.
Okay. You do not notice that this is happening. The king rat also does not notice that this is happening. So you hold up the fancy vase full of what you think to be scorpion venom. You make mention, right, of this this particular tradition. And King Rat says, "Oh ho ho! Who is you who is so wise in the ways of the court? Ah, yes, this is far better than being kissed on the knee. Much rather would I consume a beverage of such high quality." I don't know what's going on with his voice, so just bear with me. Yeah, so he takes... Go ahead.
I put in my notes that Rat King is hilarious and sounds like a cartoon villain from the 30s.
That's accurate, though.
He takes the fancy vase from you, takes a deep swig. Like, deep swig. Like, there's an uncomfortable pause as he's still drinking. And then, like, as he pulls the fancy vase away, it is, like, dribbling down his chin into his chest hairs, and he smacks his lips loudly. He goes, "Mwah, mwah, ha, ha. Ah, truly fine, truly fine. Ah, I must acquire more. Now tell me what it is that brings you into my domain."
Oh, I should also say that the Purify Food and Drink does all within a 5-foot sphere.
So what
It
you're saying
renders
is
it free of poison and disease, so it
all
also cleanses whatever other food's around.
all of the stinky cheese on his stinky cheese throne just became pure good cheese.
Yep.
All right. Well, it smells considerably better, and the Rat King or King Rat has not yet noticed that the cheese of his throne is no longer stinky, rotten, old cheese.
I think Yipyar takes a big breath.
I see you also enjoy the delicious, delightful smell of wonderfully ripened cheese.
I just bow.
He, like, leans over very slightly and pats the air because he can't come even close to reaching you. Now, when you see King Rat in your head and you're thinking fat rat, I also need you to think, like, really fat rat with really tiny limbs. Right?
I'm thinking, like, this is a person that's fused to his throne. Like, it is now just part of him. That's what I'm thinking right now. In just rolls of fat.
Yep, one big pudgy rat. It's more that he's made an impression in a very large block of cheese than anything else. And don't forget his tiny paper crown.
Yes.
It's
Is the
paper?
cheese actually his throne?
The cheese is actually his throne, and the crown is actually paper.
So amazing.
He accepts your generous offering. He takes to it quite well, and he beckons you even closer to come to his side. Fix it.
Yeah. I mean, and if Yipyar was already kind of close to me, I'm dragging him with.
I'll go reluctantly.
Okay.
I do not oppose too much.
So he beckons you all the way to the point where you can stand within actual arm's reach. And he begins, like, very vigorously, like, rubbing your arm, right? And then he says, "Yes, this is a fine beverage. Fine, fine, fine." And then he holds up your hand. And then he, like, crawls his hand up your shoulder, back of your neck, to your head, and pulls your head forward to the fancy vase, and then, like, puts it in your mouth and starts trying to get you to drink some of the drink. And it's dribbling down your chin. How do you react to this?
Can I? Well, I guess it's already touching. I'm already starting to ingest it. So I guess first I would like to figure out: do I know that it's purified? Can I tell?
You can tell that it is not what you put into the vase. For sure. And I will let you roll a survival check to know for you to have the realization that it's not poison.
That's a 6.
Oh, okay. So you are not positive. You think that it somehow got tainted and is now worse.
Yeah. All right. Well, is what it is. So I'm still. Well. I guess. Geez, if that's the case. Well, what would scorpion venom actually do to me? Venom is not poisonous if you ingest it. It's got to be like stung into you. So,
Oh, really? So if it doesn't enter your bloodstream directly, it typically doesn't have that.
I think it'll
I
still
don't think so.
So poison
To
is
the
if you eat
Google.
it, you die. Yeah. Poison, you eat it, you die. Venom, it bites you, you die. Yeah, that's like the difference between the two.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Okay, it says scorpion venom
Probably
is
venom.
also poisonous.
Oh, it is. So it's venomous and poisonous. Okay.
Yeah.
That's,
Because it has
That's
neurotoxins,
not
which means
ideal.
it affects the nervous system.
yeah, that's not ideal.
You don't need
okay.
feeling.
However, the Arizona bark scorpion is most venomous in the United States. Psh. Okay. Beckons fix it closer to share the drink. So I imagine that some of it is probably unwillfully ingested, but you do take insight from the fact that like he had a bunch spill on his chest, and so you're kind of just letting it like dribble out of your mouth and onto you rather than trying to swallow it, which he seems to be perfectly okay with. And then with his head so close to yours, he puts his mouth next to your ear and goes, "Because we are friends, you may call me Greg."
So
And
this
then
is Greg.
he releases
Sick.
you.
All right. I guess I just give him like a knowing, like yeah, Greg. Yeah.
His hand is still resting on your hand.
Oh, but he released it, right?
He released your head, yes. So he's no longer holding the cup to your lips.
Oh.
He's
All
now
right,
like
so I'll just
sitting back, fat and comfortable in his chair, and his like hand is on your hand, which is like on the armrest of his throne.
yeah. So I'll give him like a friendly pat on the shoulder and just backpedal away.
He says, "Now, I suppose we can get down to business. It seems to me that you need something I have. And it probably is true that I want something you can give." Lay it out for me, new friend. What is it you need?
You guys are gonna have to jump in here because I wasn't around last week.
We just need to pass through. Yeah, I'll just whisper to fix it. Like, we just need to get through to the other side. We need to keep going north.
Yeah, so I'll say we seek only safe passage. Noble and gracious and generous king.
No. You call me Greg.
Oh,
We're peers.
great.
I just noticed that you have a kingly advisor. Perhaps I should have a kingly advisor too. You must be King Kobold. Oh, how glorious it is to have you here in my domain. Truly, we must make a sister exchange. I will have to visit your kingdom at some point.
That would be wonderful. And yes, I cannot advise strongly enough how wonderful it is to have an able servant. And I pat Yipyar on the head.
All right, Yipyar, are you okay with being called an able servant?
I pull out a handkerchief and start wiping away the venom from his chest.
So, gotta commit.
I need you to do a performance check for how well you perform your new servantly duties.
Oh, that's fantastic. I get a -2 in that. Okay, not bad. 16. I got a 14.
Oh, that's actually pretty good. Has allowed Fix-It, whom he has dubbed King Kobold, to simply call him Greg as a peer. So, King Kobold, you can call me Greg, and I can call you...
Phineas.
Phineas.
Yes.
Very well, Phineas. Now gosh, freaking darn it. Okay, now I have to track that King Rat knows who is Phineas.
Can I be Ferb?
Wait, how do you spell Phineas? It doesn't matter. I'm going to spell it how King Rat would spell Phineas. Knows Fix-It as Phineas.
Biscuit is also surprised. Your name was Phineas this whole time? I called you Fix-It.
No, I just don't want this guy to know my real name.
Did you both just say that out loud in front of King Rat? I'm going to roll a perception check. Yeah.
Biscuit said hers out loud.
King Rat thinks... Go ahead.
I say, some of these other kobolds don't understand that the name of a king is only to be spoken by other kings. You understand, Greg? And I turn to Biscuit and I give her like the, like the, what are you doing?
Well,
No, Biscuit actually believes that your name is Phineas.
It's all right. King Rat also believes that your kingly name is Phineas and that you've given a common name to the people. In fact, he claps his hands. Actually, his hands can't reach each other, so he pats his belly in a clapping type motion and calls together a couple of guards. He says, "Let it be decreed to my kingdom that my kingly name is Greg. But from henceforth, as in the matter of the kobolds, the kingliest of the rat-like races, my common name shall now be Grag. Let it be distributed to the people." And you immediately see one overly zealous rat like scratching out the E on the sign in the throne room to write an A to rename him Grag for the common tongue.
I really made my mark on this place.
His common name. His own common name. To Grag. Okay. So, Grag says, what a delightful and insightful, serendipitous, fortuitous encounter this has been. I am so glad. And he's like, again, vigorously rubbing your arm. To meet you, King Kobold Phineas. Now, I'm certain that we can work out the price of passage for you to go through my territory. Perhaps you could bring me a fine cheese. Or, you know what? Do you have any combat-capable servants in your retinue?
Do I have combat-capable servants? Why, you've never seen a diminutive lizard fight like young Biscuit here.
Biscuit just stares at you like, am I allowed to speak yet?
She wields her own flail like one of your warriors might their tail. it may as well be a part of her body.
Oh, I assure you, none of my warriors can wield their tails. They're all inept. They're really just for show. You probably could have sneezed and they would have scattered. I'm extremely disappointed in my rat guard. However, we're in a position to take advantage of your little biscuit, as there has been a lobster in one of the adjacent tunnels, causing us no end of strife. He swims up our tunnel and clips a rat tail, and then eats it and laughs his way home. If you bring me the flesh of that lobster, you may have free passage through our tunnel at any time. King Phineas.
I'm sure my retinue is more than up to the task. As is the tradition, I'm sure you'll want to find me accommodations while they're off on this task for me.
Yes. He claps his belly again and orders that another cheese throne be brought in. And there's like a slightly less old than this throne was old and rotten, like big wheel of cheese that gets brought in from some storage cavern, and they just set it there, and he like, it's like right next to him, and he pats for you to sit on it.
I'm pretty sensitive to smell.
I mean, you like wine, cheese and wine, right?
Yeah, but I remember I asked. This is apparently not good cheese.
It's very
So-
aged.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna have
Has
to
a
talk
bite
my
to
way
it.
out of this one.
You talked yourself into this.
I know.
Please,
It's quite the roller
What do you think
coaster.
you're gonna do?
sit,
With King
Phineas. Sit.
Uh, say, well, your hospitality, legends of your hospitality will ring from the sewer to the sky. I, on second thought, believe that my company here will require a bit of supervision. I'm sure you understand.
I do. And then he, for the first time, notices that the cheese that's been brought out is actually older and more rotten than the cheese that he's sitting in. And he looks at his throne, and he looks at that throne, and he looks at his throne, and he looks at that throne. And he goes, "Why? Why was I not told that we had older, stinkier, more magnificent cheese in the warehouse?" And he very, very slowly, like imagine like King Zora from Ocarina of Time as he waddles out of the way of the entrance, right? If I hope each of you understood that reference.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
And that was like one of the most painfully long moments of my childhood. He like very slowly sidles over to the rotted cheese, and like you hear the squishing and squelching as his flesh makes new indentations, and pungent pockets of smell are like blasted out of the cheese as he squishes it around his body. And little bits of it get stuck in his fur as he finally wheedles his way into the rotten cheese into a new throne. He says, this is the life. This is the life. You go, you supervise. Come back with the lobster flesh, and we'll let you through. I'll write a pass so you can get through any time.
Okay.
And he begins like plucking up pieces of the rotted cheese to eat as he's sitting in it. So, where'd you like to go?
I could kill a lobster.
Same.
Do you really think I'm that good a fighter, Fix-It?
Yeah, you're a really good fighter.
You're too kind.
And good job in there, everybody. I feel like we really came together as a team.
Especially the part where Ao and Zarya didn't say a word.
Well, I feel like Zarya is a big germaphobe, so she was probably just like in the corner trying not to freak out.
She might have even turned into a cockroach.
Yeah.
Delightful. You head back down to the main basin, and you remember that the king rat said that it was in an adjacent tunnel. So would you like to go down the adjacent tunnel that is full of spider webs, or down the adjacent tunnel that is not full of spider webs?
Kind of seems like an IQ test.
Yeah, I feel like, does he even know what a lobster is? Could he think that the spider is a lobster? Or is it a lobster-spider hybrid?
Oh, the choices you'll make.
Yeah. I guess, let's try not spiders first.
Biscuit's gonna shout down the tunnel. Hey, we have rat tails. So many rat tails for you, lobster man. King.
Please roll a deception check.
I mean, we have axe. Oh, that's a nat 20.
I just look at Biscuit with such, like, awe. Like, that was the most brilliant thing I'd never even thought about that. Like...
You hear a voice go, "Oh boy, lobster tails, I'm coming!" And it's like getting louder, and it's just like the "whoa" is just getting closer because he just keeps making that noise. And eventually, you see a lobster that is roughly 1.5 feet in length, like zip out of the tunnel that did not have spider webs into the main basin. And he comes swimming up to you with his little claws. He's like, "Oh boy, give me those little rat tails. I love him. I love him. I love him. I love him. I love him."
Okay, this guy's too cute. We can't kill him. You're so cute.
I will devour your soul.
Whoa, whoa.
Actually,
Yeah,
I'm-
that happened. Did that really?
Yeah. Larry the Lobster says, "I'm sorry. That's Lazarus Lobster. He inhabits my soul sometimes. Can I have those rat tails, please?"
I was just about to say, like... Okay. I don't know. I'm confused.
About what? I feel like everything that has happened is both perfectly logical and understandable.
I was just about, like, when she said, like, "You're too cute, I don't want to do anything," I was about to say, "But I can." I was going to cast Blight on him.
You still can.
Yeah. Yeah. Without even consulting anyone, I'm just going to cast Blight on him.
I'm assuming it does more than 1 damage.
So it's a con save of 14, and it's 8d8 necrotic.
Yeah, he died. You have killed Larry the Lobster. And as he dies, you see like a purple demon lobster spirit leave the shell and just float down some hallway. And it just makes "ooh" sounds as he backs away.
Well, didn't float in any of us, so we're good.
he was
I just
so
did this-
excited.
This is a 4th level spell.
I did physically describe the lobster as being
I
a
know.
normal lobster.
But he already kind of like prepped in his mind, like, okay, this is gonna be a big fight. I'm just gonna go full out.
Well, Biscuit, how do you emotionally react to this very cute possessed lobster dying right in front of you?
Okay, so she is struggling because she has guilt because she got this lobster's hopes up and it was so cute. I'm so excited for its rat tails. But then Yip Yar pretty much pulled a biscuit, so she's impressed. She's never seen this side of Yip Yar before. So I think she's just kind of like stunned. Looking between Yip Yar and the. How would you describe the leftover body of this blighted lobster?
Well,
No,
as it
blight
was,
drains the moisture. So it's just a dried out lobster.
it's now very flaky. Karunch would like to know if any of you have carried a large pot with you, and if any of you happens to have a lot of butter.
It's basically perfectly dehydrated.
I would be willing to bet that Yip Yar has a pot in severe disrepair somewhere in his inventory.
Oh yeah, definitely do. And I can turn into an animal that we can get butter from.
Oh God.
It just might take a while, you know. For it to turn
I am
into butter,
not.
but
I am not milking Yip Yar.
I can turn into a platypus. We can have eggs and milk.
Oh no. I mean, to be fair, you don't have to like milk a thing if it's just too full and it starts leaking out, right? I mean, it wants to be milked, but
So
Is that a thing? I don't know.
this
platypus
brings up a
sweats
really
milk.
interesting question. Could you wild shape into like a 9-month pregnant animal? Like, could you wild shape into something that was like very far along in the pregnancy and then give birth while in wild shape? How much control do you have over this?
I don't know. I guess I could do a roll for that.
what
I
are
would-
something I
the
can work
laws
up
of
to.
nature?
Well, I'm just like he can wild shape into like literally any animal. We had this discussion a few episodes back about the potential of a druid meat factory, right? Like,
Yeah.
like he could turn into a cow, and then you could chop off his limbs and hindquarters, and then like when he takes enough damage to quote unquote die, he just turns back into himself. So like, is this how you ethically source meat?
Is this ethical? Putting you through trauma? Even if you're mentally fine with it, your body remembers.
But it's not his body; it's
Like-
the cow he turned into.
Really stretching the definition of ethical. Yeah. Agreed.
The party
And
had this conversation, and Yip Yar just stayed quiet and like backed away. Pretty much is what happened, and then everyone just forgot about it. And so we just moved on. And now it's coming back up again.
But yeah, then could you then extend the amount of meat? Like, so let's say you severely maim this cow, right? But then you immediately cure wounds it so that it heals back completely. Then could you like
Well,
take
you
the?
would actually
Go ahead.
cure wounds doesn't grow back limbs. You need the regeneration on it.
Ah. Things we learn. So, anyways, you have a very flaky, demoisturized lobster corpse just kind of floating in the sewers in front of you.
Yeah, it says it drains it of moisture and vitality.
I'm not touching it.
I pick it up. Like, let's take it back.
You take it back to King Rat.
I give it
Who-
to Fix It to present.
Now, do you make like a ceremony of giving it to Fix It, or do you just kind of give it to him on the way up?
I kind of just like give it to him like it's nothing. I think ever since Yip Yar has been aged, he's just like a little less no nonsense and just a little bit though. Like Biscuit was saying, like he's kind of doing things a little differently now.
Since he aged?
Yeah, remember in the second to last set of rooms at the tomb of S. Troji?
I wasn't there.
Oh,
Oh,
he was
yeah,
seduced.
he looks different now.
He was seduced by a banshee who sucked away like 17 years of your life. But he did
my horns
almost.
are a little more curled.
Yeah, he did almost make out with a hot elf ghost, though.
Yeah.
So, there's that. You enter into King Rat's chamber. Like, as soon as you approach the guard rats, actually, I need everybody to roll a flat d20 and just tell me the numbers real quick.
Yipyar got 9.
Ao got 17.
Fix it
Sorry, I
got
got 11.
19.
Okay, give me just a second, and we're going to have to repeat those numbers. Because for the first time ever, we're actually going to be doing a second contest in an episode. Because this is really important. And this is going to be the strength of your sneeze.
Our sneeze?
Yeah. So, have you ever watched the show Community?
Yes.
Do you remember the episode where Chevy Chase is teaching Donald Glover how to sneeze like a man?
Vaguely.
Okay. Well, there's just this concept like that he introduced that like you can take over a room if you sneeze correctly, charismatically, right? And so they get into this really obnoxious sneezing contest, essentially. Anyways, strength of your sneeze. So like some people when they sneeze, they go choo, right? Whereas some people go like choo, right? So a low number indicates a squeakish, small, disruptive sneeze, and a large number is an extremely disruptive sneeze, like almost to the point where it like annoys the people around you. And I believe Fixit said he got a 19. Is that correct?
Yeah. It also reminds me of like one of my favorite tweets that I ever read, which was I think the reason that dads sneeze so loud is it's the only way they have to get out their emotions. Also, like, I don't know why it makes sense, but it does. So yeah. So in this case, art imitates life. I got a real loud sneeze.
You've got a real loud sneeze. What did you get, Yipyar?
A 9.
A 9. Biscuit?
Both Biscuit and Ao rolled a 17.
Wow. And what did Zarya get?
11.
Okay, so we've got Biscuit 7. Oh, that says Viscuit. Biscuit 17. Ao 17. And Zarya 11. Okay.
You know what I picture happening at some point is either Ao or Biscuit knows that they have a really loud, obnoxious sneeze, and then they're about to, but it's an inappropriate situation, so they do the earrings of bait and switch, and then an equally as obnoxious sneeze still happens.
That's going to be amazing. What's going to be even more amazing is that you'll swap out of the inappropriate situation into an even more inappropriate situation. All right. So, yeah, I'm going to say that one of you does sneeze, and true to King Rat's word, most of the rat guards just, like, scatter immediately. But the one lead rat guard recognizes you and walks you back to the throne room, where King Rat says, that was fast. How? That was so fast. Is that... That's his distinct Larry the Lobster birthmark right there on his left. I don't know what the words of lobster bodies are. No, it's not on his claw. It's close to his face.
Oh.
Yeah, what do you call the segments of arthropods?
Segments.
Are they arthropods? Was that a correct use of that word?
Hey, Google.
Time for more learning.
Yeah. Are lobsters arthropods? I don't know what arthropod means.
So they're
It says they're
divided into-
crustaceans. What
Yep.
are arthropods? Oh, crustaceans are arthropods. Oh, it was a good use of the word. Oh, spiders are also arthropods.
I don't need that.
Okay. Lobster physiology, so that I can accurately refer to.
They got a carapace, an abdomen, antennae.
The nostrum for eye protection. What the crap does that mean? Walking legs, abdomen, carapace?
Yeah, carapace.
Okay, so the carapace is the shell that goes from the eyes to the tail, and the nostrum is apparently a specialized piece of shell around the eye. So we're going to say that he has a distinct Larry the Lobster birthmark on his left nostrum. There we go. This is why we learn, so that we can accurately reference real life in Dungeons & Dragons. King Rat immediately recognizes the corpse of Larry the Lobster by a very prominent birthmark on his left nostrum. He says, "Delightful! Bring it over here, I'll dip it in my cheese." Rip in
No, I'm
peace, Larry
carrying,
the
right?
Lobster. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll bring it over. Bring it on over.
He like leans over excitedly, like wobbling his little arms, excited for you to give him Larry the Lobster.
And I do. I present Larry the Lobster.
He immediately like takes it from your hand and begins cracking off pieces. He says, "Oh, well done. This is very easy to break apart." And just dips chunks of Larry the Lobster in his rotten cheese throne and then starts gobbling on it. In the middle of this, he does a tummy clap to beckon over a servant, and he says, "Please write these adventurers a pass for King Phineas and up to 2 of his friends," and he holds up 4 fingers as he says this, "to pass through Ratlands whenever they would like." And then the advisor, on a small piece of wood, paints a little crown with a very rough approximation of King Phineas and a little right hand with 4 fingers. And he hands it to you with a bow.
We did it, team.
Yep, you did it. But yes. Yes. Yes.
So what do you think? Should we get out of here now? Or, I mean, I feel like maybe enjoy our time here a little longer.
This hydration is for you, Karunch.
I think Ale gets back to his like moth-like state, just going where Nana Sarah says to go. Just like the, animated thing going towards the smell of pie. Or like he's in a trance or something.
Yeah, I think Zarya will be like, I definitely want to not stay here longer.
Yeah, so you so before this happens, all right, this line is really funny to me, and it's not going to be funny to you unless you've read the Grimm Brothers fairy tales. But the king rat is going to make friendly eyes at at King Phineas and like seductively like rub his hand in the not quite as rotten cheese, like beckoning you to come like sit with him.
Yeah, sure. I'll sit with him. I said I feel like I'm pot committed at this point.
You sit and squelch into the cheese, and it like gets into everything. I'm gonna, yeah.
Pixel Mix, I might have used a 4th level spell on a normal lobster. It was possessed, but I did not know that it wouldn't kill the possession.
It was a possessed lobster. They gave it to King Rat, whose kingly name is Greg and common name is Grag. And he dipped it in his rotten rat cheese throne and began to eat it. The party takes the newly minted Rat King Pass, King Rat Pass, and shows it to the guard, who looks at it slightly perplexed and says, I guess you could just do what you want, man. I don't really know what's going on. And he just lets you through. And that's going to be the end of today's episode. He seriously overkilled. That lobster literally had 1 hit point. And how much damage did you do? 8d8?
Yeah, let me actually roll it, because I didn't... a good 30.
Hey, King Rat thought it was delicious. He was very excited about it. All right,
I'm so excited for his rat tails. He was so excited.
He was.
Wise.
Woo, boy!
It was the
Yeah.
fact that the
His reaction
possession
was
came out, and that's why my demeanor changed towards it, because like I was the same way, and then like the evil spirit came out of it, like, no, that's not normal.
Oh, and he was like, I will devour your souls.
Yeah, that's when I'm like, okay, dead.
Yeah.
Natural.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, don't trust possessed lobsters, all right? The lobster voice sounded very much like, ooh, boy, I'm Larry the Lobster, and I love rat tails. I'm so excited. I can't wait to have more rat tails.
He was so excited.
He was.
He was very excited.
Hey,
All right.
it was probably painless though, in instant for him, so.
It is now inspiration awarding time. Fix It, you rolled highest on the most recent contest, so you go first. Listen.
How does remind me how this works?
Yeah, so Larry the Lobster loves rat tails. He did. He died with a bosom full of hope, right? He thought he was about to get rat tails. So the way the inspiration mechanic works is that you get to pick another player and state one of the moments that you thought they played their character really well today, and they get an inspiration die for the next session to add to any role of their choice throughout the entire session.
This is definitely going to be when I kind of threw Yipiar under the bus, treating him like a servant, and he didn't let his ego get in the way of the mission. Stuffed up, dabbed scorpion venom off of my considerable paunch, and made me look good in front of King Rat.
Pixel Nix, you may absolutely nominate Larry. I don't know how well an inspiration die is going to serve him in the afterlife. The Labster life? That didn't work very well.
Just an entire plane of lobster souls.
Just a plane of lobster souls. That is how the multiverse works, right? All right, Biscuit, you are next.
Yeah, definitely to fix it for his whole kingly ruse. That was a little too convincing.
Is Biscuit now secretly convinced that he's been a king kobold this entire time?
She's at least doubting everything she ever believed. But yeah.
Technically, Ao is next, but I think we'll just skip down to Yip-Yar.
No, Ao says, "Oh, I'm going to give one to Biscuit for being so cool." This is tiny Ao in the safe.
I love Tiny AO.
Just kidding. I'm not going to give away his.
Alright.
Yeah, Biscuit for playing along with well, yeah, doing what her character would do with like actually believing that Fix-It is Phineas.
That was
Like,
pretty funny. Yeah.
Like Fix-It's a nickname, and she feels embarrassed. Like, oh, I've been calling him the wrong name the whole time. Who cares that everyone else was? But yeah.
I love that the King Rat's name is both Greg and Greg. Both of those names fill me with joy. This was a fun session. This ended up being way more fun. You guys roleplayed this super well, which made it way more fun than I thought this was going to be. So I really like this.
We had a short encounter for combat.
You-
So funny.
It's funny too because I had planned both. I planned 3 potential options for you guys to quote get past the Rat King. One of which was a combat encounter, but you guys didn't even approach the murder hobo threshold. You were just like, no, we're gonna RP our way through this. And as your DM, that fills my heart with joy.
Part of me really wanted to turn into a giant space hamster, but I'm like, I probably shouldn't.
I thought it was a very fun session. Thank you all.
Yeah, it was good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you
then
for running.
to re-announce, we will be starting. So I totally forgot to tell Ino about the later start time, and so he texted me. He's like, "Brian, where is everyone?" Yeah. So,
alright.
but we'll start at 8 p.m. Central next Wednesday.
Thank you, Anno. We were
Oh,
supposed to ask your permission.
No, you guys are awesome. Anytime.
All right.
Next time, I'll see if I can figure it out to use one of my wild shapes for you.
Always go Space Hamster. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by the stream. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for playing